Xpeng CEO just said that there's a bloodbath in China. Bloodbath. He emailed this to all of Xpeng's employees. Xpeng, by the way, are in partnership with the Volkswagen Group. Both of them are partnered together now to supply EV parts to each other, to get bigger purchasing deals from battery companies to save money. But who is creating the bloodbath? Well, we know some car manufacturers are discounting prices. The media says it's Tesla. The media says Tesla has created a bloodbath in China. Yeah, no, that is completely ridiculous. If you have a look at what BYD is doing in China, that is the bloodbath. Think about it. BYD sell way more cars than Tesla do in China. They're way more relevant. Way more of the cars are being sold there. That's their focus. I mean, 95% of BYD's cars are sold in China. And BYD just reduced prices on every single one of its models over the past few months. Every single one. But now, they've reduced prices even more on the electric BYD Han and the electric BYD Tang. The prices of the Han and the Tang are ridiculously cheap. I mean, holy smokes. You've got to get a look at this. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. And if you believe in what the media have been telling you, that Tesla has created this price war in China, then my goodness, you must be gullible. It is insane. There's about 25 different car makers in China selling EVs at about 20% less than Tesla for a similar product. I'm talking same size sedan, same range, probably even more features, cheaper. Now, is it really Tesla, therefore, that's created this price war? Or is it Chinese EV manufacturers? Is it the fact that there's too many of them? There's 91. Well, maybe soon 90 after one of them just basically went into receivership and is now hoping that someone else will buy them. Now, there's another car company, Nita, who are struggling to pay its staff, having a Hong Kong-based IPO listing, hoping to be able to raise more funds in order to pay its staff. Anyway, bloodbath there certainly is, but I believe it's caused more by one company than any other, and it's one company that I personally love. I don't know why, but I think what BYD is doing is probably in the long term a good thing. They're getting rid of some of the trash, the companies that are struggling to compete in this market. This has to happen. 91 EV manufacturers is way too many. It's ridiculous. Remember, there's still internal combustion manufacturers. You've still got BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, Volkswagen, all these other car manufacturers in addition to the 91 EV manufacturers. It's way too many car manufacturers. Li Auto's CEO just said, asked the Chinese government, he said, guys, you've got to make some of these car companies join together. Otherwise, they're going to go bankrupt. There's no other choice. It's ridiculous. They're actually dumping cars at prices that are too low. But the price war, in my opinion, if anything, has probably been ignited by BYD over the past 3 months by more than anyone else. BYD had just revealed the new Han and the new Tang. Now, they do sell these EVs outside of China. They sell them in Europe. They say they have a new 800 volt architecture. It's not really 800 volt. It's a 620 volt architecture. But either way, charging speeds have improved, not by a lot. Charging speed has gone up from 120 kilowatt to 155 kilowatt. The Han EV therefore can now charge from 30 to 80% in 25 minutes. Not particularly fast charging, but the truth is the Han is a big car. It's 5 meters long. I mean, it's about as big as a Tesla Model S. That might not sound that big to you, but when you hear the pricing, well, that might change your perspective. BYD has reduced the price by 14% of the cheapest version, but it's also improved that version of the car. BYD Han's top trim is called the Eye of God. So the vehicle name for that car is actually the Han EV Honor Edition Eye of God. Some strange naming. Now, one of the big differences that BYD have made to these new cars is ADAS. It's Pilot 100, so basically like Tesla's autopilot's their own version of that. Its safety systems have been criticized by the media. If you're turning off the channel now because, whoa, that's too much, I hate you saying that, I'm a BYD fan. Well, keep in mind, BYD's CEO said the same thing about their cars as well. ADAS is a bit of an issue. One of the things that annoyed me in my BYD that I had is it was really difficult to turn off the speeding feature. There's a feature in the car where it says, you are speeding, you are speeding, you are speeding. when you go above 2 kilometers an hour, 1 mile per hour above the signed speed limit. But oftentimes the car couldn't tell the signed speed limit correctly. So it would tell you the wrong speed limit, and it would tell you you're speeding when you weren't speeding. Now, to turn that off, it involves pressing a few buttons every time you get into the car. It's a bit of a pain in the butt. And then every time you get back in the car, it's turned on again, and then you got to remember before you drive to turn them off. And I just don't have a good memory for those sorts of things. So BYD's ADAS system and its software like that has been a bit of a criticism. BYD have therefore hired apparently thousands of engineers. They now have 80,000 engineers working at the company to improve their software, improve their ADAS, their safety features. The price of the new Han EV, $25,000 US for the cheapest version. Remember, this is a significantly bigger car than a Tesla Model 3 and significantly cheaper. $25,000 US. That version has 500 kilometers of range. The 600 kilometer range version is 27,800. The 715 kilometer range version is $30,000 US. And the 610 kilometer range Eye of God all-wheel drive version, which is meant to be like their performance model. It's very fast, costs $34,700 US. You're basically getting like a Tesla Model 3 performance, which is significantly bigger, and it costs $34,000 US. Now, as you can see, these prices are all much cheaper than the equivalent Tesla Model 3, which is a smaller car, which does actually have, in some instances, less features. So is Tesla making this price war, or is maybe BYD the ones bringing down the prices of EVs in China more than anyone else? So what is the size of this vehicle? Well, it's 5 meters long, 4,995 millimeters, 1,910 millimeters wide. Trim level, the basic cheapest version, has the same motor as the Atto 3, 150 kilowatt, 201 horsepower. But the performance version, it has 380 kilowatt, which is 510 horsepower and 700 newton meters of torque. It also uses a 5 millimeter wave radar, several of those. It has 12 ultrasonic radars and 11 cameras. It sends input from all these sensors to its DiPilot 100 ADAS system, which is powered by Horizon Journey 5 chip with 128 TOPS of computing power. Basically, to boil all that down, it's using a lot of technology. It's actually pretty impressive, the technology that BYD are using in the Han. Does it all work together? Does it use all that processing power? No one really knows yet. It's basically a brand new version of the Han, which sounds pretty damn good. $25,000. It's ridiculously cheap. The BYD Tang, which is actually the vehicle that interests me much more than the Han. The reason being, it's an SUV. There's a 7-seat version of this car. It's a big car. Well, its pricing is even lower than the BYD Tang. Now, there is a Han plug-in hybrid version, which is very affordably priced, starts at $23,600 US. But there is also 4 versions of the BYD Tang, starting at $25,000 US. This is a big car, 4.9 meters long, not quite as long as the Han, but it's an SUV. So overall, its dimensions, much more interior space, much more practical. Now, yeah, the price of the Tang and the Han have both been reduced significantly, but I should point out, both of them, they're plug-in hybrid versions. Their prices have also been reduced enormously. Prices across the range have come down by an average of 30%. 30%. That is crazy. And clearly BYD is intent on crushing their rivals because they just reduced the prices of all their cars. They just reduced prices of their plug-in hybrids to about $13,000 to $14,000 for a vehicle as big as a Tesla Model 3. I mean, BYD prices right now are so crazy. I don't believe BYD is making a profit on their cars right now. I believe they're saying, you know what, we don't care. We want to lay the smackdown. We want to sell more than 4 million cars this year. We want to take over the Chinese car market, and we're willing to do anything in order to make that happen. You've got to say full credit to a company that's willing to do that. I mean, is it good for their rivals? No. Is it good for customers? Absolutely. Thanks for watching.